now present The Strange Romance of Evelyn Winters, the story of Gary Bennett, playwright who suddenly and unexpectedly finds himself the gardener. Ladies, a soap that gives creamy banal sweetheart soap. This is soap in the new large bath size, soap skin. And you'll marvel at this amazing proof. Pictures taken through the microscope prove Sweetheart's soft, billowing lather has a floating lip. Countless bubbles bathe the outer pore openings, lift off dirt and dry skin flakes, then simply float them away. This heavenly gentle cleansing leaves your skin feeling smooth, comfortable, just marvelously refreshed. And it's wonderfully kind to baby's tender skin. You'll also appreciate Sweetheart's oval cake that lets air get practically all around it to keep it drier, daintier. So today, get the new large bath size of Sweetheart, the soap that agrees with your skin. Now, The Strange Romance of Evelyn Winters, the story in which Evelyn is secretly in love with her guardian, Gary Bennett. Gary finds himself in love with Evelyn, but believes he's too old for her. Do you think 15 years too great a difference for marriage? This is the last week of Evelyn's vacation, which she is spending at Lake Blue Jacket. Much has happened since she left New York. Pierce Field has returned from London. Kristen Dalby has admitted her deep interest in Gary Bennett. Not to Gary himself, but strangely enough, she confided in Pierce Field. His answer was a positive one.
Miss Dalby, you get your bags packed and go on back to New Haven. Because if you stay here, you'll get your heart smashed. And I happen to know what I'm talking about.
Now at Cafe Tahiti, Pierce has met Jinny Roberts for lunch. She's been dreading the questions she feels sure he will ask her about Evelyn, wondering how she will answer. They've ordered. Jinny takes temporary refuge in listening to the music.
The pagan love song.
You like it, Jinny?
Mm-hmm. Pierce looks wonderful. There's something so blamed sweet about him. He was an okay theatrical ambassador to send over to London. He's good old clean-cut American. Now look, Roberts, when he starts asking you questions, just answer them the best you can. All right, but how much to tell? You know about that big blow-up with Evelyn and Gary? Did you come out with that? Oh, jeepers. Look, for once, Roberts, why not try to take things as they come? I know. Just think before you say anything. He's looking at me. I'm afraid. Here we go.
Well, what do you know, Jinny?
This dish you ordered is really super.
Yes, I heard about it in London. There's a lot of ballyhoo over there about this Cafe Tahiti. Gee, it's good to be back home, Jinny.
I bet it is, Pierce. By the way, what about your apartment?
Oh, that's right. I told you I was going to go over there and pick up some summer suits, and I promised to get you information on what Miss Dalby was going to do for her room.
Well, I just wondered, that was all.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's going to a hotel until she can find a small apartment.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. Well, Jinny, suppose you break down and tell me all about it.
Yes?
Come on, Jinny.
About what?
Don't you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
Cuter than ever, Roberts.
thanks. I guess I know what you're talking about, all right. Just what do you want to know, Pierce?
As much as you'll tell me.
Oh, jeepers, Pierce, I knew you'd ask me.
Well, naturally, Jinny, I'm interested.
You're interested?
Mm-hmm.
Just what does that mean, Pierce?
Now, Jinny, don't answer questions by asking more questions. I got my order in first.
Just what am I to say? I think you figured out a lot of answers your first night back, didn't you?
Yeah, at the candlelight. Mm-hmm. It was illuminating to a degree, Miss Roberts.
Before that, you'd met Edith Elkins, and you knew about Evelyn giving up her house and being away. And then you learned about Kristen Dalby, that Charlie and Gary were letting her use your place until you came back, and that Gary is...
Is what, Jinny?
Well, he thinks she... Well, she wants to become a writer, and he thinks she has some talent. He ought to know.
Sure.
And it's It's very swell of him to give a beginner a start.
Yeah, so you can appreciate that.
It's just what Gary told me one day. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. Just an interest, Like Gary gave me a start in acting. You like her?
Miss Delby? She strikes me as a very interesting person.
That's that, then.
That's that.
Jeepers, why are you smiling at me, Pierce? What do you want me to say? About Evelyn and Gary? Sure, I know a lot I could say. I thought everything was going to be all right with them. And then there was a terrific blow-up, but awful. They didn't see each other before Evelyn went north.
Jinny, I wasn't asking you about Evelyn or Gary.
What?
I asked you to break down and tell me all about what was going on.
Sure you did.
I meant with you and that red-headed publisher.
Pat McLeod?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the first date I had with him.
Oh?
Oh, jeepers. Here was one time I made up my mind to use my head. Leave it to meet. Jeepers. Aren't you interested, in finding out how everyone or everything is?
Well, certainly I'm interested, but how can you or anyone else tell me about the state of mind or emotions of someone else?
That's right, I can't.
When will Evelyn get back to you?
To New York?
No, dear, to Baluchistan.
Okay, I asked for it. I don't know for sure, Pierce. She has to be at work on Monday, so I guess she'll be getting in the end of the week.
End of the week.
Yes, Pierce.
So today's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Pierce?
Yes?
How do you feel about it?
Well, Jenny,
Hmm?
well, let's concentrate on ordering dessert, shall we?
Miss Bean tells me I have a visitor waiting in my office.
Yes.
You should have sent advance notice, Kristen. I'd have waited and taken you to lunch with me.
I have had my lunch, thank you.
What's the trouble?
Your secretary, she mentioned to me that my brother had been here. I mean, today.
Yes, he stopped in to see me.
Why? What was there for him to say to you?
For one thing, he told me that you had made your decision.
Yes, Mr. Carrigan.
You're not returning to New Haven.
I am staying here.
That's what he told me.
Was he angry with you?
He was remarkably cool, considering.
He would not come here only to say I am staying here. Did he say more to you?
He told me to look out for her.
I will look out for myself.
Okay. Kristen, I have something to talk over with you.
Yes, Mr. Carrigan.
It concerns your work.
Yes.
Now, don't look worried.
Did I?
You still do. There's no need to. I've known about this for several days. I didn't see any reason to discuss it until you decided just what to do.
My goodness, what is it?
You remember the letter from McLeod Publishing Company?
With the reports on the first chapter and the outline. Oh, of course I remember.
I didn't read you the complete letter from Pat McLeod. He made a suggestion in it concerning your story. Kristen, I worked up the outline.
Yes.
Most of my work's been playwriting. I think in terms of acts. Without realizing it, I slanted that outline toward three very definite climaxes. Curtains.
He thinks it would be a play.
That's exactly what he suggests.
Mr. Gary Bennett.
But not a play alone, Kristen.
Well, what else?
The novel you started to write. They'd come out at the same time. The play would open on Broadway, and the novel would have its date of publication on that same day. It's quite an idea McLeod's worked out, provided we can deliver a product that'll hold up under a double-barreled, high-powered publicity campaign.
Oh, so when do we begin?
Oh, Kristen.
I mean it. Unless, of course, that is what you think of.
I'm as excited as a kid.
You are?
I think it's terrific.
Oh,
And I've just been waiting for your okay because I want to get started.
okay, Mr. Gary Bennett.
That does it, Mr. Dalby. Shake.
Yes. I feel like a partner in business.
That's what it is.
So how do we get started?
Well, I have the outline. I'll map out the acts from that. You'll continue with chapter 3 you're on now?
Yes. I was not able to work when my brother was here.
There'll be no excuses from now on.
No, sir.
Let's aim to have it ready for the fall.
Whatever you say.
Our first big problem is to find a place for you to work. Also, includes living.
Thank you for remembering that. I have a room at the Bancroft again.
You'll need a place for the cook stove or that coffee pot of yours. We'll find some.
Tell me one thing, Mr. Gary Bennett.
Yes, Christy.
You are to write about me and all that I think and feel. How can you know so much about me?
I've had your chapters before me. You got a great deal there.
All that I have to. Honest, I don't.
Everything, Christy. It'll be interesting working on it.
Interesting, Mr. Gary Bennett. Yes.
Evelyn will return to find Kristen Dalby a powerful challenge to the bond that has existed between her and her guardian. As for Pierce, he refrains from committing himself as to how he feels. Be sure to listen tomorrow. Ladies, if you'd like your friends to exclaim at how much lovelier you look, discover the floating lift of Sweetheart Soap's Extra Lather. Learn how Sweetheart's floating lift care may help your skin look softer, smoother, more radiant. The secret is deeply cleansing massage with Sweetheart's glorious Extra Lather. For pure, mild, Sweetheart gives up to twice as much lather as average beauty soaps. And here's proof that it's exquisitely gentle. Pictures were taken through the microscope of Sweetheart's soft, billowing lather in action. They prove its floating lift. Countless bubbles bathe the outer pore openings. Lift off, float away dirt and dry skin flakes, revealing true beauty. So begin Sweetheart Soap's floating lift care today. There's a worldwide shortage of the fats and oils needed to make soaps, woolens, tires, and hundreds of other things we all want. So be sure to save every single drop of used fats. Rush it to your meat dealer, in tin cans if possible. He'll pay you for every pound you turn in. Be sure to listen tomorrow to the next chapter of The Strange Romance of Evelyn Winters. Till then, this is Larry Elliott saying goodbye for Sweetheart Soap, the soap that agrees with your skin.
Oh, stocking slips and handkerchiefs, do 'em the blue-white way. Blue-white flakes, they turn and work, do 'em the blue-white way. Of such for colors bright, white things dazzling white. All those personal things, do 'em the blue-white way.
And ladies, see how new Amazing Blue White gets towels, sheets, tablecloths, dazzling white with ease. For these revolutionary new blue flakes are a combination of special bluing and pure, mild soap flakes. Thus, Blue White does more than old-fashioned bluing, more than soap alone. It blues and washes at the same time. Blue White works wonderfully with your regular soap in rich, cleansing white suds with beautiful blue water underneath. There's no extra bluing rinse. Clothes a dazzling white blank. Avoid substitute. BLUWH.
The Strange Romance of Evelyn Winters will be on the air at the same time Monday. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.